Yo, bartender.
Bar's closed.
Hey, yo, bartender, what's good, man? Let me get a drink, man. Let me get a shot.
Hey, man, I know you just put up to the bar, but we closed.
Come on, man. You gotta be able to give me a shot, man. Come on.
You look like you need a drink, man, but I hate to tell you this, man. We about to close.
So you need to tell me all these people out here, they got drinks and they got shots, but I can't get nothing. The bar closed that soon?
Okay, man, I don't know what else to say. I got this shorty half my age at the crib, and I'm trying to get to it. But last call was 10 minutes ago.
You know what? It's alright. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it.
All right. Tell you what, I'm gonna get you one drink, cause it look like you need it.
One drink? I can do one drink. I can do one drink, cause I really, yeah.
Hey, man, anything, man. Look like you got a lot on your mind and you need a friend right now. Pour it on me. Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
One of the things I want to brought to you by is what? Minecraft. Yes, we have to change up the world by understanding that we do a lot of crazy things, but again, it goes back to your mind and make things change, okay?
Yes.
So one of the things we do on this show is we bring you a lot of related things, but key is changing your mind about what you interpret and what you do.
Yes.
And that's what I like to say Minecraft does. So take a chance to go to it, see what webinars we got up and coming, and understand it's not just to stay where you are, it's to advance where you want to be. Woo. Minecraft, my boy.
Yes, sir.
Now I got to get back to this person, the owner of Minecraft, the person that smiles, the person that comes in this bad boy each and every time with a smile. Craft! How you doing tonight, big baby?
I'm doing fabulous, Jay. As always, as usual.
Never mad at you, bro.
Yeah, man. That's how I get down, bro. Life is truly a gift. It's truly a present, and I love life. I love this little struggle thing that we got going on here to find ourselves and put our best foot forward. Something about it's exhilarating to me, man. So I'm happy every day, bro. You know, I got just as many problems as a lot of folk,
right?
But I also got rid of a lot of problems, and that makes things so much nicer. You know what I mean?
I'm single.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Not saying relationship caused a problem. I was a problem. So I like to say when you solve some things, you got to understand some things.
Okay.
And one is that right there. And that's what I love about Minecraft, because it gives you the opportunity to start putting things down on paper so you can start seeing things in a different way.
Yeah.
I like to say a lot of times I was a toxic person in a lot of different things, and then I had to learn to break away from that. And then I had to learn me.
Yeah.
And then I had to learn better ways to control my feelings, my emotions. And then at that point, I became a better person to be able to get rid of a lot of obstacles that I put in my life. See, that's the problem people don't understand. You bring things in your life that you don't need. I'm trying to get you to understand what you're bringing in compared to what you really need. You need God. So you need guidance.
Right.
But you're getting people to get you a happiness, and it's a falseness. They're just praising you on things that you do instead of understanding the godliness of you. Because when you shine like a God, I promise you, you don't need nobody to tell you.
Yeah, and if you got somebody who doesn't see your divinity, if you stop doing the gift, the thing that they love, they won't see you at all. Right?
Because it's them, it's more selfishness.
Yeah.
And you have a godliness. Godliness is not a selfishness. It's given to the world of a gift that he gave you.
Yeah.
You can be selfish with it if you want to. It's yours. What I notice is people want other people's gifts. That's back to a selfishness.
They do. And
everything ain't for you, baby.
It's a subject in and of itself. Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Yes.
My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay.
Yeah.
And we want to just welcome you folks tonight. We thank you for being here with us tonight on this show. We're here to liberate your minds and your souls and your spirits with a fantastic dialogue. We're going to talk tonight about today's technology.
Oh, Lord.
And the subject could go almost any place. I've got some very unique places I'd like to take the conversation, but ultimately, this is our opportunity to grow about how we feel and how we're dealing with today's technology. There's been a lot of changes, and some of us adapt sooner than others. There has been a lot of change that is undesirable. as a result of this technology. And so just hear our story, hear our opinions, and figure out what works for you. That's what this is about. It's kind of like a therapy session for you to hear some of our ideas and make your own assessments. So again, we thank you for being here tonight. And of course, we always start the show off with a prayer. I know, Jay, would you like to do a prayer tonight?
I got a challenging one for you tonight.
Okay.
I said this when you said technology, and I told you, technology has grown since I was a kid and everybody through time.
Okay.
But the classroom hasn't.
Okay.
Classroom stayed the same.
Mm.
Can I pray for them to understand what the Lord has compared to what man has been doing to us for too long?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Because I really feel like at this point in life, we always looking for what new things is somebody going to create. And there's a lot of stuff that's already created within you. God talks to you. He's in you, but yet you still want to see what somebody else can do. I really feel like we're getting away from what he gives you, for you can give the world, and you're chasing a desire of another man compared to the man that's inside of you.
Mm.
And I'm asking you, I might as well just do it as a prayer. I'm asking him to release what he has for you because you're too busy looking for somebody else. You're looking for a thing that can inspire you when he's already inside of you. You can't idolize outside when you don't even understand what's inside. He has you, but you want something else. Why are you wondering why relationships don't work out? Why you worry about jobs not working out? Because you're not in the place where he wants you. So your gift is hidden in you, but you want to see it outside of you. How can you see what he has and you don't even believe in what he can do? Mm. I feel like we're a lot of times confused when we don't know what we want, but we sure that what we don't want. Well, he brings things to you for you can get back to him, but you still stuck on you. Can you pray for you to understand him and get the heck off of you? Mm. Because the longer you stay on you, you won't see the gifts he's trying to bring you. So while you are confused, he's not. While you question him, he's questioning you. The gift been in you. He's just waiting on you to open up to him. Open up and receive your gift and quit chasing what you can't catch. Half the time it's the dollar. Don't let money fool you. He has more for you. It might bring you money, but I promise you it'll bring you a prize that he has for you. Nobody was born without one. Get to it. I guess that's the prayer. Mm. And amen.
There is a prize waiting for you. Get to it. Amen.
Motivation.
Amen. I love it, Jay. Let's just dive on into the subject tonight here.
Sure. I got some thoughts on this one.
Today's technology. What's the first thing come to your mind, Jay?
Well, before I go perverted, I'm going to go back to the...
No, don't go perverted.
I ain't said it before.
No, don't.
Oh, we going. Oh, I know. You said it before.
No, don't.
Hey, say it right there. No. Jay going to do what he do now. Now, we going to go back to primitive. I said the classroom, before the classroom, the simple telephone. The rotary telephone when I grew up. You know, and I had to take the one and go all the way down and wait till it come all the way back around and get the other number and go all the way. Okay, I was shortcutting and I was taking that 3 and going all the way down, and then we get close to the 6, I'll go back down because I had to operate within the technology that I was used to. Then I went to a cell phone that was big as a brick, and I was walking around with this bad boy, and everybody didn't have that. So it's showing you how technology now is to a Apple phone that does more things than I know how to do. So technology is growing, and a lot of times we don't keep up with it. And a lot of people get scared of it because they feel like it's the mark of the beast, it's the devil. My whole thing is a lot of it is reverse technology, and a lot of this stuff was already here. Because if you really think about it, how the pyramids was built and how we have a hard time reconstructing how you have to break things back down and go backwards to go forward. And I think technology today is leaping us even further than what we were before. And I like to say being scared of it is just like belief. You got to stop being scared and have a better grip of life.
So do you think there's any danger to technology, Jack?
I think the most danger is the manipulation of what people want you to follow compared to what we can really discover.
Well, so here's the thing. When you introduce a computer program that leads, you know, your cousin or your auntie down this path to putting their credit card in the thing, and it ain't no service at the end of that, you know, that's danger.
It could be a huge danger to a lot of people that
a lot.
That again stick their card in with the hopes and belief of what somebody's telling them.
Right, and see that's the problem. You don't know what to trust.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
That transaction can lead nowhere, or it can lead to what you want.
That's
my whole thing is, if you look at I like social media today. You can go on Instagram, go on Facebook, and you can see something you like, and then they're probably selling you something because there's more ads on there than ever. Okay, and normally after the ads, you click this button, you go to it. At this point, I don't care who you are. If you're trying to buy something, you're starting to think about Walmart. You're starting to think about Amazon. You're just putting your card in with the beliefs they're going to send you what it is. Let me give you a reality. Before Amazon and the rest, I did that, and a lot of stuff never even showed. I bought generators that never even showed to my door. It was hard to go back after them to get things. So I've been duped like anybody else. But my thing is, just even though I got duped, I didn't have a fear of it. I started realizing some things are too good to be true. A generator for $100? Where you going to get that from? Should have known it when they sold it to me, but the bottom line is, why is it on this and why is it on that? Because everybody's not true about their intent.
Yeah, technology will heighten your common sense component. It should. If it doesn't heighten your common sense component, then you're probably gonna get taken. Because somebody gonna sell you some beachfront property in the southern part of Wyoming, and you're gonna go down there and buy some property that ain't even on the beach.
I can't tell you how many times I've been on sites and they show you a vehicle or something real cheap, and they say, "Well, call me." If it's cheap and they telling you to call them, why can't I just arrange it where I just get it? No, they want you to call, and then they got some gimmick. Just saying this, and then I send you what you want. It's a gimmick.
It's a gimmick.
Please let you know, technology ain't trying to just fool your ass. It's the person. People use technology for good and bad.
That's right.
And that's just life.
And see, that's a good point. Technology is not just technology. It's somebody back there pushing those buttons.
Yeah.
It's somebody back there trying to lead you down a rabbit hole so they can get your information or your credit card or your IP address. And we're not attempting to be negative here. Mm. We're just suggesting that technology is run by people. And there are going to be some systems where the technology is kind of self-fulfilling prophecy, but the system that was put in place, a man put that system in place.
Correct.
And a man will have the intention. I've noticed on the Uber Eats app, mm-hmm. You go in and you pick out your meal and it adds it all up nice and beautifully, right? Mm-hmm. And then it says, "Here's your subtotal." And then you go to another page and the subtotal has the tax and the other fees on top of it.
Correct.
And then after that, they ask you if you want a tip.
Correct.
And if you say yes to the tip, you never see the total for the amount with the tip. You only see the total that you bought with the food, which is going to be $3, $5, $8 misleading, right? But you did agree to the tip.
Correct.
But they never showed you the balance with the tip. Why? The game is that if I show you the balance with the tip, you're going to decide not to do the tip. So now I purposely put you in a position where you say yes to the meal and you say yes to the tip, but you never get to see your balance.
And I'm not even going to comment on the people that tip and they didn't even receive it after doing their job.
Yeah.
Because technology saying, well, they didn't and they really did. You don't know because you don't see it. But my whole thing, again, is not to always make it go good or bad, because that's all it is.
Yeah.
My whole thing is how is it an advance to a point now that you have to have interest in it, because it is doing everything so much differently. Because after COVID, you're really relying on it more than ever. More people do it online. More people shop online. Most people don't get around other people. Now, guess what? Because of the pandemic and things we went through, I understand it, but that's also a fear.
Well,
a fear of not going out and being. But you see people back at restaurants and everything else. All fears is not going to manifest and stay. Some people going to want to be around folks. But to a person that don't want to, they don't have to. And that's why I said it's a good and a bad.
Well, yeah. I know that I have done so many more Uber Eats and Grubhubs. Mm-hmm. Like I've ordered a lot of food into the house. During the pandemic, And so technology has allowed me and allowed a lot of those restaurants to stay open. Think about all the money that's made from the restaurants and from the drivers
Right.
and from all these facilities that are participating in this technology. It is a good thing, right? What technology does, in my mind, is it unites people.
Okay.
It unites people with, think about if you had a little mom and pop shop down on 8th Street and you had one of the most unique products under the sun, but nobody knew about it. But then you were able to effectively put your product on the internet. Now people from all over the world are shopping at your store on 8th Street. So it has the power to take you from a local market to an international market. And all you have to do is learn how to market on there. And it is a whole new process to market online. All these businesses that, are retail shops, you have overhead. You got building, you got, water facilities, you got to clean the place, you got lights, you got to have an actual worker to come in the door, open the place up, close the place down. You're very visible, and so now you got to have signage, and there are people who are running massive stores who've never seen a storefront.
Correct.
Technology can do that for you. You can have the best. I've always said you can bake the best cakes in the world, but if nobody know about you, you'll be holding those best cakes at the end of the day.
Correct.
So technology has allowed us to be able to move our products across mass amounts of geography with people who don't even know us, because we're able to sell our products. Now, excuse me. Technology expresses itself in so many different ways, and I just want to ask you some
Feel free.
out of the box type of stuff, Jay.
Oh, sounds
All right?
good to me.
Yeah, I want just some out of the box type stuff.
I got
This
the
is-
box.
This is the kind of stuff that we think about with technology.
Okay.
And AI. How do you feel about AI?
I will really tell you, unfortunately, I watched a lot of movies. In the Terminator, and you got Will Smith movies, you got a lot of stuff that shows you artificial intelligence, and it went rogue, okay?
It went rogue.
And I think they did that on purpose, just knowing, just to let you know it's coming.
That's how you make a movie.
But again,
Something bad
in the
gotta
movie,
happen.
and it was very interesting, I liked it. But again, it also puts that seed in your brain. I like to look at AI in a way that can still get us in a better place. Now I'm going to tell you why. I dealt in the trash industry for a long time. A lot of people do not like dealing with waste, okay? So if you're able to get a robot to be able to do some of the stuff that humans do, it enhances life, because I don't know if any of them things that we've been smelling and we've been dealing with can cause us long-term problems, okay? But a robot, I could care less about. So I would rather a robot goes into a sewer and clear a line than a human. I would rather a robot go into a mine that could collapse. I'm not saying a robot is expendable all day long. That ain't a human life.
That's right.
If it's down there digging and something falls on it, we ain't going for it, okay? We can dig around it.
So it saves lives.
Because again, that's what I'm looking
So
for.
the dangerous jobs it could do. What about the, and this one's dear to your heart, right?
Mhm.
What about the sanitation system? We got literally hundreds of thousands of jobs in waste management, and you think that we could hand that over to AI? You think that?
Some of it already has.
Okay.
We already got garbage trucks that got arms that just go out and grab a
Yes.
trash can. They don't have helpers on the back of the truck. And again, it takes some jobs away. And again, we
Takes
all
jobs away.
understand
Yeah.
some of them get hurt, injured, picking up trash cans. And again, the company looks at it long term as, again, you got a driver still, so you're still employing. It's just that driver is more responsible for the truck and the arm, and it's just like doing an Atari game. You're working the joystick, so it makes it where you can be more profitable because you don't have the extra person. So again, it
Okay,
takes away from
here's-
that extra person, but again, it's sometimes reliable, but it breaks like anything else. So again,
Okay, let me just
it's a lot different.
let me just throw the extreme side of AI in, right? The question it becomes when you put control into the hands of the computer
Uh-huh.
and you allow the decisions that you've already made to be into the hands. Now the computer is going to make the decisions that you've already made.
Correct.
Because you write the program. You write the program and you say, okay, computer, you do this and you do that. And at a certain point, the computer is going to be smart enough to start making decisions for
Correct.
itself.
Correct.
And when it starts making those decisions, it's going to potentially see that it is humanity that is in the way.
Correct.
It is humanity that is the problem. If you gave AI the sole task of fixing the environment, at a certain point, they're going to say, okay, the only way we can fix this situation better is to get rid of humans.
No,
Hold on, let me finish talking. And so now what I'm talking about is where computers' assignment overruns humanitarians' faults.
right.
And now computers will start to take over in places where, where we really need a heart. We really need some concern. We need some compassion in, and they're not going to do that. We can't teach a computer compassion.
I'm tell you right now, you're about to get me in so much trouble, but I'm gonna give you the most realest answer in the world, and you're correct. It takes the owner to realize what he want his dream to be, because computers can come in and they can analyze how a route is ran, and that computer can tell you a better way of running it. Now, to an owner, I would still run it with a human compared to an Android telling me how to put one of his components in there and doing it. I want my vision to stay clear, and I ain't gonna let no robot change my idea.
Okay.
But hold on. But you can still show me to show more productivity, because I'm telling you, they have put it into the trucks already. And I ran routes, and I promise you, it came back and it showed me better ways to run it. Now I'm able to keep my people.
But watch this, Jay.
And show a better profit margin compared to just doing it just the way they just said it.
The guy who's competing against you, and let's just assume it might even be the government,
Okay.
decide that they're going to do. So let's just say it costs $5 a can to pick up every can. I don't know what that is. $10 a can.
No matter what the cost is.
Right? But the actual cost is $10 a can. But through AI, they can do it for $3 a can. And so you're going to be competing against a system that is vastly more productive and more effective than you. And it's going to start stealing your business. It's going to start putting you out of business. AI could put us out of business. AI right now, today, if you give them the instruction, they could go and build a plant. They could surface the land, build the land, put the building on it, start manufacturing toilet paper, wire, computers, any of that, and run. And do it at a fraction of the cost that it would take for us humans to do it.
Correct.
Like, it has a grave impact to believe that computers could outsmart us in our own world. And what if computers begin policing the world? Now you're talking about making, we were talking about life and death decisions in the hands of computers. They're going to decide whether they shoot you or not based on what? Based on what programming has been put on. But computers have a grave impact.
They have a grave
to our potential
I really
lifestyle.
feel like that's the problem. They got so much potential, we forget about ours.
Well, it ain't we. It's always a selected few.
All right. Well, I'm going to always look at a human factor because I'm human. And I'm also looking at it as a godly factor because I also understand people.
Right.
It doesn't.
Right.
It's a processing that somebody does that does processing. It's no different than a controller. My whole thing is, if I own and I went back to an owner, I know my vision.
Right.
I don't care about the pressure of everybody else. I'm going to sell you my product.
Right.
It might be incorporated with my product, but my product going to stand because of the gift that I have.
Yeah.
Y'all looking at other things. That's y'all. Because everybody wants more, but sometimes you have to scale back. One thing I can always say, I love Chick-fil-A from the original owner that owned it. When he said, I'm not operating on Sunday. You know how much money he might have lost? And he didn't care. He had a product, and he knew he was a Christian, and he wasn't working on Sunday. And then when he died, they started opening up on Sunday because it's more about money than a legacy. That's what people, product, and operations and robots would do. Me, I started this. And it didn't happen till he died.
And we expect you to hold on to that.
And that's the only person that will. Because we lose humanity over money.
Yeah.
And then that's why you prophesy against your damn self.
But Jay, you own $100 million company, and I can cut your expenses by 20%.
Okay. And what? Because we ain't gonna look at all other people.
Okay. All I'm suggesting is that's the selected few who are making those decisions.
Yeah,
those are the people who are making those kinds of decisions. Here's another thing, right? There is the potential for this world to potentially be put in such chaos that we have to leave the earth. And the only way we're going to leave the earth is through technology. And there has been technology proven that you could get in and live for many years, maybe even live forever in outer space. Maybe in a pod, or maybe in a spaceship, or maybe in some type of intergalactic vessel of some sort. How do you feel about living out of space, Jay? What do you think? Are you ready for that, or you think it's not possible? Or you think it's a good thing, a bad thing?
Now I'm about to get perverted because now I'm starting to think about Star Trek, and I'm a Trekkie.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm ready to go to some Martian land. Okay. I'm ready to experience things differently because I'm not scared to go outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
So if somebody told me I was able to get on a spaceship and go out of space and live in a different way, never scared. Because again, at that point,
would you leave this current lifestyle to do
sure.
that?
There's nothing about this current lifestyle that I feel like I have to adapt and stay. I adapted to be here, but can I adapt to future? My whole thing is when you're scared to adapt, then you limit yourself. I like to say that broadens my horizon, and it might get back to what my gift is.
So here's where I'm going. That there is a growing civilization of people who have an interest in pursuing the outer reaches of the universe. And there are going to be programs, I do believe, as we start to make space travel affordable, and it will be, that your child might come to you and say, well, I want to go to Mars.
Okay.
And you'll probably never see me again. So here's people that are deciding to leave the Earth. You never know what's going to happen. They're not going to come back necessarily. They're going to live their life in this new realm, right? And not to mention that, interstellar space moves very, very slow, right? And so they're going to stay young and we're going to get old. And by the time they come back in 25 years, it's going to be 125 years. We're going to be gone, Yeah. So there's a lot of, there's a lot to think about there. But the point is that, technology is allowing us to start to at least consider the option of living in space. I believe that the government has been working on civilizations for years on how to live in space. What happens if we have another catastrophe like, the Ice Age or when the dinosaurs hit? What happens? It could happen. It's actually scheduled to happen because it happens to the Earth every 2,300 years or something silly like that. So they're expecting a catastrophe, and those who will flee to outer space. And there is the technology to hold us, but most of us are probably not going to make it back from that. And I think that is a real possibility. When we go back to AI, what's the guy who created Tesla? What's his name?
Oh, you're talking about Elon Musk?
Elon Musk. Elon Musk, about 2 months ago, was proposing that we put AI technology on hold for 6 months.
Mhm.
All research, all technology on hold. He said, and let's have a summit about what we're going to do with this thing because it's getting out of hand.
There you
It's
go.
really getting out of hand, and in 6 months it may be too far out of hand for us to do anything about.
Game changer right there.
So it is suggesting that the technology is growing beyond our world, and our world is going to have to take the hit for this growing technology.
But you got a man telling you the same thing I just said. Before you allow it to overcome, take time to understand where you're going.
But the problem is, it's 2023. It's almost too late. It's in
No.
social
No.
media now. AI is in social media.
You got a person that's in front of everybody. Everybody want to be him. He is saying to you, because since you want to be me, do you understand where we're going?
Yeah.
Now, see, to me,
And-
I give him nothing but respect.
Right.
Because, again, he ain't got to say nothing.
But his counterparts are saying, oh, what you want to do is slow down the flow so you can get ahead of the curve because we know your game. What you're going to do
and
is
you know why?
you're going to take that
Because-
technology
you
and
know
turn
why?
it into your own personal game.
Because all they know how to do is run game in their mouth.
They run
and
each
he
other.
got power.
Yeah.
Because I did it. You want to be me.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, before you want to be me, understand my struggles and understand what you don't know. And that's why I get mad
Yeah,
when people
he's-
come behind him and be like, what he's doing.
He's still a small fish, though.
He's small.
He's still
but he's large to a mini.
He's still a very small fish in the pond, right?
I mean, I can't just say how small he is because the amount of wealth
I
that he
can,
done
because
built
he's-
and what he done, I'm not going to derate him.
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell you, sometime when you see something,
Yeah.
and I see a kink in the road, and I say something, it's always these other bigger people talking that mess because they don't care for it. That's why we get derailed. I'm just being honest because they don't care. I like the person that stands up when you don't think he a big fish, but he's big enough to tell you there's some problems coming because you ain't looking. Guess what? The big people that's running this, they ain't never looking. It's all about profit
Yeah, but
margins and what they want.
They don't necessarily respect him,
You
nor
know
his
something?
opinion. Right?
I
So-
can't say what they do,
Yeah.
but I can only say
Well,
when I have power and position over certain things, I notice a lot of people do the same thing. But I promise you, mine is based off of holiness and a godliness compared to a person that just want to profit. And I ain't talking about being a prophet. They want to profit off of what it could be compared to the badness of what it could be. Because the minute when bad happened, they run. I didn't want it to happen. I can't say he me. I can't say anybody's me. I can only say that sometimes we care with humanity. We care for people. It's a godliness too. But unfortunately, we get away from a godliness and we get to a roboticness.
Well, I think
That's
that
not of him.
I think technology is moving us in that direction, and that's why we're having this conversation today.
I love the conversation.
Because at a certain point, it's going to have to be man or the computer.
Man, this getting so rough
It's
right
going to
now.
have to be man or technology.
You
And-
got single women saying the rose is better than the man. I went there.
Well,
I did.
Jay, it's a lot of women who ain't never really had a good man. Blah, blah, blah.
I don't think it's about a good or nothing. It's just a robotic tool that somebody came up with that gives you somewhat of a pleasure. I'm not saying what's best for anything. I only know that it's created. It's created, and then other things are created too. My whole thing is, if you know you, and I like to say we are into a position that if a person said that's better, this, that, or the other, only thing I can say is hold that to the side and realize there's some great people out there besides things that they manufacture. But I'm not going to say what's better than the other.
What
What
does-
I can tell you is it can lead you down a rabbit hole like everything else that was made.
What does the technology of the rose do for society?
Well, it gives a pleasure other than the mouth and the taste, the rudeness of a person. So sometimes we talk and put people in position where they don't need all that. They just need some self-pleasure and they can do without all the rest.
So technology is good.
So technology can be looked at. It's perception. It can be looked at. I always say everything ain't always going to be good when it gets back to you trying to do things just for self. We should never be a selfish being. When you become a selfish being and everything is just about you, I promise you, that ain't what he brought you
That's
here
not what
for.
we're talking about here. We're just
I'm
talking about the
just
rose.
giving you me.
We're
I'm
just
giving
talking
you
about the rose.
the rose itself
Is it-
can
is
give
good?
you self-pleasure.
Okay, is that
I
that's
heard,
good?
it ain't for me.
Does that help society or does that hurt society?
I don't really think anything totally hurts until your mindset.
Okay, is this good? or
When
bad?
you get in and you say that's all it is and it's the best thing and I don't need a man, it can be bad in that aspect.
Okay.
But when you say it can be utilized with a good person, nah, it's a toy. It's a toy that can be aided. I like an aid, not a hindrance. I don't want somebody to say I'd rather a rose than me. But when you tell me and you and that rose about to do something, hey, it's something totally
Do
different
you
to me.
think the rose is breaking down the family structure?
No, I don't think the rose broke down anything. I think our bad relationships and the way we treat each other broke down that. That's been happening way before the rose was ever created. So I'm never going to blame it on a robotic rose. I'm going to say that was us in communication, how we treat each other, and how we still do this very day. It is a relaxer. When you go through it and all of a sudden that man ain't there, it relaxes you where you don't have to think about him.
And does that make it easier for you not to go get another man?
I don't know if it makes it because that's on the woman.
Yes.
Thing, but
Answer the question, yes.
I can tell you. I can tell you right now.
I'm playing with it,
When
man.
you get done with that damn rose and you thought about that person that was with you and he really stood for something and you seen into me, I think you'll put that shit down and realize what I really am, and you'll come back for the real compared to that self pleasure. That's me. And I'm only going to speak for me.
Yeah,
you can
good.
keep
And
it
I'm going to
going.
speak for everybody else. And everybody else will say, especially these women in the world, no matter what their attitudes are, the technology is drawing them into this rabbit hole. The technology is making them feel like they don't need a man. That ain't the truth. But the technology is making them feel like they can do without, they can get pleasure without a man. And I think to some degree, that just might be hurting the fabric of the world. It might be hurting the fabric of families. It might be hurting the fabric of whole and pure, loving, real sex and sexuality. I think all of that technology, it does satisfy the needs of the individual, but I think it hurts us socially, culturally, our families. I think it hurts what we stand for as people. People are living with toys rather than communicating with people. That's a problem. And I don't care how you look at it. It's taking a 16-year-old little girl with a rose will never have a real relationship with a man because she's always going to expect the man to live up to that. And he ain't never going to live up to that. Not some batteries. He's much more than that. But she can't see the much more than that because she's used to the tingle. And if you don't tingle it right, then you're not really a good man, or you're not a whole person, or you're not somebody who can take care of me. Or I need your size. Come on, man. This technology stuff is really screwing up the world, and let's not play games with it.
No, I'm not playing games. I'm going to give you a reality. It was screwed up before the damn toy came out. It was screwed up with how we communicated with all the thoughts that we was putting in and things that we did. Now you got to understand, there was things way before the roads. I don't want to blame something for something.
All kind of shit.
There you go.
The point
Cucumbers,
is
anything else.
The
My whole thing is before we just go with all that, can we go back to the common way we speak to each other and how we relate and how we've been torn down way before this? It's easy to point at technology. I don't want to point where I see the destruction way before. Somebody designed that shit. And my whole thing is I'm going to have to go back to that before I go back to a toy because they put this in our head ahead of time.
Yeah, we can go back to all the stuff that has impacted our people. But, in the last 10 years, hanging your pants off of your ass, that's some new stuff that we need to deal with. Okay. And it has perturbed the environment even more.
I can't denounce that.
You and I, nobody in today's time can make a difference back then.
No.
But we can speak up right now.
I agree.
And if there's some technology that might be hindering us, we got to find a way to deal with it.
Right.
And, we know that guns are everywhere. Guns used to be like only with your daddy. Okay. You know what I mean? Only over in the barn, locked up in the closet. Now guns are everywhere. This technology has raided the streets of America, and it is causing potential mayhem.
Right.
I do believe that our government has a methodology for its gun control. Correct. I'm starting to see a need for mass guns on the street.
They want us to.
However, the fact that we have mass guns on the street without people being trained, without people having emotional intelligence, without people learning how to use their mind in intense situations, we have given no development to the people. We've just given them a gun. And so here's technology invading our streets that's ultimately going to destroy us.
Okay.
We must be careful with technology.
Yeah.
It is not something for kids. It's not something for people who don't have a mindset to protect humanity. It's for those who just are the fleeting moments of the now.
And I totally agree with you. But one of the things I can tell you that technology also can help, even though it's a hindrance on some of the things that you're talking.
Yes, it can.
Is Minecraft. It takes you to get to understanding back to yourself. A human being that can tell you about how you need to get back to your self-development before you rely on AI, toys, and everything else. When you go to Minecraft gets you into a state of mind where you get back into you. Quit letting things play with you and understand you.
Now listen, there's a technology that is for today's mankind. Minecraft is for today's mankind. It's not about how to use a system or backup or a computer or a phone. It's about how to get your mind clear enough to be your greatest reality.
Say it.
So that you can walk each day standing up strong and confident, feeling brave, feeling not having to be feared of the world or fearing of tomorrow. It gives you your interpersonal power back. That's what we need. As humans, the technology is going to advance us because we're not advancing within ourselves.
Say it, my brother.
The technology outgrows us because we're not growing within ourselves.
Say it again.
If we can teach mankind to grow within himself, he will outpace his technology. And therefore, we will always be in control of this world. We'll always be in control of the human side of this world.
Yes.
There's always going to be manipulation. There's always going to be crookedness. There's always going to be crime in technology. But if we take humanity out of the technology, we're going to be running into a brick wall. And it's going to be a four-sided brick wall, high as the sun.
High impact crash.
High impact crash. So, let me ask you another question, Jay.
What you got?
Aliens. How do you feel about that?
This is where I'm going to lose a lot of people, but it's okay. Because ain't nobody I lose I really care for. It's not about me feeling any other way that I see them being around. I see in the Bible when they say certain terms. I really believe there was more aliens. Back in the day, they said there's only one God, but there was goddess. There was a sun god. There was multiple gods back then, and those people had super strength, different kind of powers, and I really feel like those show more alien ways compared to anything else. And then when I look at the pyramids, how they was aligned, that's not a regular person back in that time can possibly be able to do. So everything was pushed away from aliens and said what we could do, and then it's hard for them to recreate what we did back then. So I already knew the perfect alignments of all the pyramids was for a reason, because it's outside of what we do. I think a lot of our technology is reverse technology. Because again, I think they found some things and then they reversed it so they can reproduce some things.
Listen, absolutely. That is the truth. Nothing but the truth. The whole truth, nothing but the truth. It's why our technology has advanced itself so quickly over the last 20 years.
That's how I feel.
It was, I believe reverse technology. And I believe it was technology that was given to us by many other alien species. I do believe that there are many different types of beings, even human beings in the world. I believe that this world is so vast. I've read books and stories about people who will tell us of generations of aliens who were like humans. And I just don't believe we're here alone. I think that the alien community is here and potentially here among us. I think that they have even brought us here and maybe even be responsible for our humanitarian life here, and even in wisdom and technology. How does technology that was used in such an extreme way to build the pyramids, how does that technology disappear? And how can we not recreate it? That means there may have been greater technology here than we have right now. And so there's much information that has been lost because we can't answer, if we can't do now what we did then the technology had been lost. And I believe the technology had come from an alien species or
I totally agree with you. But I believe
folk.
Higher ups covered up and kept things down.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
everybody wasn't to have that technology. Because you remember back in the day, and I'm not talking that old, but I drive trucks. I used to grab a map book, and it was A1, A, B, B7. I had to go to different pages to figure out where I was to where I was going.
I remember that.
And I mapped these things out in a big old book. Atlas.
Yes.
It's an Atlas book.
Yeah.
I know, I drove it for a long time.
I did it too.
Now he went to a GPS. GPS been out, but it was more for the military. It came out to us a lot later. And it was very accurate. It made the things very easy. So it showed us that technology been out there, but it's been hidden. And when you look at the aircrafts today and the hover and how they can just go straight up propulsion, all this stuff has been into creation for a minute and a half, but we have not really just discovered it or seen it because, again, it's been hidden. So when I look at aircraft today and you go back and watch how the propeller plane went and it barely can hold anybody, to a jumbo jet that can hold a tank, and again, that's more military, it's not really always used in other things. It let me know it's been a whole lot of reverse, but it's always been in certain categories where it's been more shown than us. Now, my whole thing is not to pick, because I ain't saying nothing about the government at all, because these things get shut down when you mention certain names. But I can tell you, they've been advanced, and they got weapons that can destroy faster than anything. Anything that was made back in the day, they got something way stronger.
Yes, they do.
Supersonic missiles and all the rest of this. Things I can't comment on because I can't factually tell you because it's secret. But what I can tell you, not working for the government and not snitching or saying anything, they're more advanced than they ever going to tell us. Okay? So that lets you know about technology.
They're more advanced than they're ever going to tell us. I like that, Jay. And
And
that
that's the
brings
truth.
that brings us to, I think, our final dialogue here. And that is that we're always being watched.
Oh, yes.
There is almost never, only if you are in your home, and maybe not even then, are you not under the microscope of a camera or a microphone in the world. How do you feel about that, Jay?
Purposely done. They seen where everything was going from the past. Most of you don't have TVs that got tubes in them. Most everybody got a smart TV. That smart TV is smart for a reason other than what you understand what smart means.
Yep.
You think it's smart because it can go to your channels. Well, I think sometimes you say some things and you go to certain things and know to go right to them. No different than your phone.
Right.
Smart technology is technology that allows somebody else to know how you think, to understand where you want to go. And that's why it's so revolving about the future. Because if I know how a person thinks, I know how they spend, it's easy to put things in front of them. From advertising, commercials, to anything else. I had one that I went on to it and I put into the column of what I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
The next time I went into it, it automatically showed me the same thing. It knows this. It's simple, but it's simply nice to you. It's controlling as well. They want you to buy. You know, I hate to say it, black people buy more products than anybody else. Okay, we're the best consumers. So guess what? If you know that and you keep putting stuff in front of them, they keep buying. Okay? You won't sit back and realize that sometimes you need to get more assets. No, you just gonna buy stuff. Stuff puts us behind. Again, we wasn't really taught. And you're not going to be taught by anybody anytime soon about what we need to do because it's still being shown through social media. But that's not gaining any kind of wealth. There's a lot of people that's wealthy, but there's a lot of people that buy stuff.
Yeah.
That don't share wealth.
Yeah.
It's not about for everybody else. It's about them. That's why I say to myself, you always got to be wise to realize where you at to where you going. It can be very helpful. I'm not mad with today's technology. I'm really mad at the fact that it's not used to aid us. It's used to be against us.
Okay, yeah, and I think that's the best point made tonight, Jay. It oftentimes is used against us rather than being used for us. It could help us so much more. You know, we're supposed to have electricity for free in the world. And Nicholas Tesla was told that was not going to happen, and there were people put measures in place to make sure it wouldn't happen, which is why we pay for energy today. It has been used against us rather than been used to help us. And so that has happened on numerous occasions in the world. And we just need to, stay prayed up, because most of the technology is so far beyond our thought process. We just have to ask the good God to keep the technology from hindering His works and from hindering His plan in our life. And with that, I think we'll wrap this show up. This has been Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay in the building. And we want to thank you folks for being here with us tonight. Just an opportunity for us to be leaders here in our own community. And of course, we're here every Thursday from 7 to 8, Facebook Live and Facebook, all across the platforms. Just come, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends and family. We talk about the realness of life, and we hope that you can come and value what we do. Never forget, folks, that we love you, we appreciate you, and with that, we are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar